Welcome to another episode of the 901.
I'm Tyler Stegall, an employee of the City of Memphis.
I'm Tiffany Collins. I'm also an employee of the city.
And we're here to tell you everything that's fun, unique, and great about the 901.
This show's journey has a holiday theme, and we start off with treats from Sweet Lalas Bakery, some of the most delicious cookies I have ever tasted. And as a matter of fact, I got to decorate a few.
Nice. And while you were decorating some cookies, I got to visit the Grand Carousel. It's at the Children's Museum. It just opened. It's beautiful. It was truly a sight to behold. All I needed was some cotton candy, and my fair experience would have been complete.
That sounds fun.
It was. You know, Tiffany, I heard some people are thinking about expanding their families this holiday season.
Huh?
Yeah, you know, maybe adopting a furry baby, like a dog, a cat, a rabbit. I got to tour Memphis Animal Services with their supervisor, Glenn Andrews. He gave me a tour of the center there, and they showed me some of the friends that you can adopt in your family this holiday season.
Oh, I wish I could adopt a furry friend. Unfortunately, I'll have to stick with the animated ones, like here at the Enchanted Forest at the Pink Palace. As a matter of fact, I got to speak with Sarah Pfizer of Labana, and she gave me the history of the Enchanted Forest, and we'll talk about that more later.
And finally, we'll wrap it up with a message from our Mayor Jim Strickland to you, the 901.
So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Did you know that the city of Memphis has the distinct honor of being mentioned in some 1,074 recorded songs? And of those songs, over 800 of them have unique titles. Just think, Memphis, our city's name has been sung by the likes of Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, The Grateful Dead, Snoop Dogg, Alabama, Billy Ray Cyrus, and even Donnie and Marie. Now, how's that for name recognition?
Quite often, entrepreneurship is synonymous with making money. However, there are times when you can make money and help the community at the same time. I am here at Sweet Lalas Bakery, which is housed at Jif, to speak with Lauren Young, the founder, and possibly get to taste some of her cookies. Come join me. Good afternoon.
Hey Tiffany, how are you?
I'm good. And who do you have with you?
This is John Young.
Hi, John. Nice to meet you. This is the Lala.
Yes, this is our original cookie called the Lala with a little bit of almond extract in it.
Can you tell me how the Lala came to be?
So all of the cookies are my original recipe except for this one. Oddly enough, this one was given to me by a lady that I worked with in Nashville. It's very similar when I was in Nashville at a bakery, had a similar flavor and taste, and a friend of my husband's had a recipe that said she'd love to share it with me. So I started using that recipe and taking it to Christmas parties and events. And then from the base of this recipe, I started developing all the flavors that we have today. We have about 15 flavors now.
So where did the name Lala come from?
So I'm Aunt Lala. My name originally is Lauren Wilson Young, and my first niece came along and called me Aunt Lala. And because all I do is sweets, we decided that the name of the bakery is going to be Sweet Lala's Bakery. When I came to Memphis, I was looking for a way to spend time. My husband traveled all the time, and I loved to bake. It was a little bit of my therapy. And slowly but surely, I started picking up more business and started getting more orders. And I was working for another company, our family foundation at the time, working across Memphis with grants and applications, and started seeing a bigger need going on in Memphis. And so what I started to realize is that maybe there's a way to start putting the things that I love to do with the baking into a nonprofit that I have really come to care about. And so the way we decided to establish the business, I'd been serving here at Jif. Jif is a faith-based organization, and I was a board member. Every time I left a board meeting, we'd find out that boys that were graduating needed employment, but because boys from the court system have records that follow them, they're harder to get hired. So I started talking to my husband and said, I think we could do something different with this bakery and not just have a regular bakery, but have a bakery with purpose in mind. And so I brought the recipes down here. I leased the facility, so it's a direct revenue for Jif as a nonprofit. And then it's our family business, but then all of the boys who graduate make them eligible to come work in our kitchen. And so Jif manages that process, so I really contract with Jif for production, and this is what we're doing today, is producing all the cookies out of their kitchen.
How many orders today are you trying to get out?
Well, we kind of calculate by cookies. So we've got probably a little over 500, 600 cookies that are going out or went out today. Most of them have already gone out for delivery. So this is what we're icing. They'll dry overnight. Our process is that we hand roll, hand cut, and hand ice every one of our cookies. So they're fairly labor intensive, and they usually need about 12 hours for the icing to fully cure before we put them in a package. And then we have these types of red holiday boxes for this season, and we partnered up with My Cup of Tea as another offering. You can get tea and cookies. It's a great little holiday package to give coworkers or friends or neighbors.
Well, can I get in? I would love to.
Yeah, you want to
decorate some
ice?
cookies.
For
Yes.
sure. You can see if it, let me go to some gloves right
Okay.
here. So you just take that and
Is it like painting?
it's like painting. I do it in 2 swipes, but it depends on how much icing you want. I always say get a big old dollop of icing, and then I like to pick the cookie up like that, and then you swipe it like this. It seems to go a lot faster.
I would love to do some quality control.
We would love for you to do that. Please have at it and let us
Okay.
know what you think.
I'll start with one of my own.
Yeah,
How about
perfect.
that?
Cookies are meant to be eaten.
This is very good. Again, please go to sweetlalas.com to place your order for your holiday cookies. Thank you again.
Thanks for being down here.
Thank you, John. I'm very proud of you, and I look forward to coming back.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Memphis has many hidden treasures. Today we're going to experience one of the oldest and richest jewels throughout the entire 901, the newly restored Grand Carousel. It's here at the Memphis Children's Museum. Let's go check it out. So this is it. We're here, we're on the carousel. I'm here with Art Davis. He's the Chief Operating Officer for the Children's Museum. Art, tell me a little bit about the carousel.
You know, this is a historic piece of equipment that was actually built in the early 1900s, and it had so many different opportunities to no longer be in existence. It actually caught fire in the early 1920s, and it went back for its first restoration. After that, the Parks Commission and the city of Memphis decided, you know what, we need the carousel in Memphis. We need the Memphians to have just a short moment to forget all their troubles, forget what's going on in life, and have a great time on this. And that's when the memories began. Soon after that, the carousel moved to be a focal point of the Liberty Land. And as throughout the years that Liberty Land was in operation, those memories continued to go. And at the closing of Liberty Land, the city wasn't quite sure what they wanted to do with the asset. So they left it out in the elements, but a few years later, they decided, you know what, this is a great piece of history that we need to keep. So they stored it, and then in about 2014, the Children's Museum worked with the current administration at that time and said, look, we want to restore that. We want, with the help of people, with the help of FedEx, the Plow Foundation, and many individuals, we want to restore that. And that's where we are. So we sent it to Marion, Ohio. They did a lot of work. They stripped down the paint to see what the original paint colors were. With the help of FedEx, we brought it back here. And now we have these memories, and we have this opportunity for people who started and created memories to relive those. But the other great thing about it is that we have the opportunity for the next generation to make their memories themselves. There's not too many places that you can go and do that.
Right, okay. And also, this is a Denzel carousel. Tell me what's special about a Denzel carousel.
Well, one of the things that's unique about this particular carousel for the Denzel carousel is that it's all horses. And a lot of times you'll see carousels that have different animals on it or different rides that are on it, but Denzel made sure that he created this one with all horses. This is also all hand carved. It's also one of the heaviest carousels that's still in existence. It weighs about 36,000 pounds with no one sitting on it. And the reason for that is a lot of the details that you see when you're riding it are actual plaster. Different materials were used later on in life, but this is what was set with this one.
Now, the carousel is located at the Children's Museum. Tell me a little bit about the Children's Museum.
Well, the Children's Museum is a great opportunity for Memphians and for the visitors of Memphis. It provides a place for children to come and have fun. But while they're having fun, they're also learning a lot. And that's our mission, is to provide a fun time for people and a learning experience. So we have all different exhibits to do that. We have outside exhibits, including our splash park that's open in the summer. We have a FedEx plane in the middle of the museum where people can actually go in and sit and pretend as if they're flying the FedEx plane. We have a grocery store. And we also have a special area for toddlers, and we provide that area because, you know, toddlers are learning how to play and learning how to share. And this is an opportunity for them to do that. They have a lot of the similar exhibits, they're just downsized for them.
All carousel riders must remain seated for the duration of the ride. Do not get off the carousel.
So we have a surprise. We're about to be able to see an experience for your first time, the ride on the Memphis Grand Carousel.
Awesome, I'm ready. Let's do it. Now, the colors of the horses are very unique. Tell me a little bit about how they got their color.
Well, Denzel actually had two different color schemes when he did his carousel. One was a fall color and one was a spring color. So after the restoration process began, they stripped down somewhere in between 12 and 18 layers of paint. And what they did during that process is they were able to determine the exact colors that were used in the Denzel original construction of it. Ours is a fall color scheme. That's why you see a lot of blues and golds and greens, a dark color rust, and the spring obviously would have been more of the pastel colors.
All right, Art, that was a lot of fun. The carousel was much faster than I thought it would be.
It is a lot faster than most people think it is, but it is a lot of fun. I have to agree with you on that.
Yes, and we want everyone in the 901 to come in and check out the carousel and everything the Children's Museum has to offer. Art, thank you so much for having us out here today to highlight the carousel. You're doing great work here.
Well, I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to not only show you, but to show all the 901 viewers as well.
All right, thank you so much, Art.
Thank you.
What's behind this door? Built in 1876 and located atop the bluffs of the mighty Mississippi River on Front Street is the once United States Custom House, Courthouse, and Post Office here in downtown Memphis. The building is now the University of Memphis Law School. One of the original courtrooms from the building's former use as a courthouse has been restored and is now the law school's moot courtroom. The building boasts beautiful architecture with pink marble walls in the lobby. The building is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places. How's that for a piece of history?
It takes many hands to make city government work. One of those is a supervisor at Memphis Animal Services, Glenn Andrews. We're going to talk with him about what it takes to make this place run. Let's go. Hi, Glenn.
Hey,
how are you? Tyler
how's it going?
Stiegel. Nice to meet you.
Glenn, nice to meet you too.
Yeah, and you've got a friend here.
I do. We're trying to work some things out with Jasmine here, trying to get his little guy adopted.
Okay, hello, Jasmine. All right, Glenn, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Glenn Andrews. I'm presently working here at Memphis Animal Services. I am the shelter supervisor. I'm one of two. Been with the shelter now for about 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've watched a lot of change, a lot of growth and evolution with what we do here. So I also have dogs and cats and all types of animals at home, which helps me out when I'm working with the animals that come in here. A lot of them are a little shy and they miss their pet parents, or they're not really adjusted to the fact that they're going to get a new home and visit new people.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York City originally.
Okay, wow.
So I left New York and immediately came here and started working here. I worked at the animal shelter in New York for a little while, so this was always my career of choice.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm really proud to have helped this shelter to get to where it's at and just evolve with the way times have changed and just keep up with things. I've got this little house and a little backyard, and I've taken that backyard and I've decided that I was just going to try to grow any and everything that I can. So you know, hopefully I'll get a big house one day. And I'll be able to have my own crops and just go outside and pick berries and stuff. And that's really what I like to do. It sounds a little boring, but it's fun to me.
Yeah.
But besides that, I do a lot of gym and running. I like to rollerblade, do that on the green line since it's beautiful to look at, nice visuals.
Take your pets with you on the green line?
I do. I have my two Rottweilers, Beanie and Queenie.
Now, other than the two dogs, what other pets do you have?
Well, I also have two cats, and that's going to be Neil and Nala. I have a flock of finches. I have a saltwater tank, and my pride and joy, my chickens.
So what do you like most about working here at the Memphis Animal Shelter?
I love engaging the customers. I love working with the animals. I love gaining their trust. And I mean, I love these things. When a dog comes in and they are scared and shocked from just the new environment, it really feels good to be able to bring that pet back out and make them feel comfortable being here.
So how many dogs and cats and other animals do you house here at the Memphis Animal Shelter?
Well, easily we could house about maybe 175 dogs, and we could do maybe about 60 plus cats.
Wow.
Well, and then you got to keep in mind that we do receive pets, dogs and cats that are mothers. They come with a bunch of little kittens or little puppies.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you know, you may have 7 or 8 in one kennel. So that number it's extremely fluid. It can fluctuate depending on, you know, what type of pets we have and what conditions they're in. Plus, we do get a lot of pets that are pregnant and who give birth here. So we've had to have a maternity ward, if you will.
Yeah.
That's a makeshift one, but we try to make them as comfortable as possible. Fair number to say would be about maybe 200 plus animals could live here comfortably.
Wow.
For a while. And that does not include the horses or sheep or pigs that we put in our barn.
Okay, so tell me about the save rate that you have here at the Memphis Animal Shelter.
Well, I'm proud to say that it is the highest that it's been ever. In the last 2 months, we've continued to raise that number, that percentage. We've had about 86% live release.
Awesome.
So, I mean, it's phenomenal for us. We're also very proud of ourselves. We've put a lot of work into it. We've built a lot of relationships with our pet placement partners and other rescue groups.
All right, Glenn, so I understand this is a city-managed facility. So tell me a little bit about where we're located.
Well, we're located at 2350 Appling City Cove, and that's going to be off of I-40, the Appling exit.
Well, Glenn, thank you so much for inviting us into the Memphis Animal Shelter and giving the 901 viewers a peek of what you do here at the Memphis Animal Shelter.
Thank you, Tyler. It was a pleasure having you on here.
So viewers, come out and adopt a pet at the Memphis Animal Shelter. You can also go to their website to find more information at memphisanimalservices.com.
The holidays in the 901 are full of long-standing traditions that span generations. One of them in particular is the Enchanted Forest here at the Pink Palace Museum. I'm here to speak with Sarah Pfizer of Labana Children's Hospital to learn more. Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time.
Sure.
To meet with me. Can you give me a little bit of the history of the Enchanted Forest?
Yes, of course. So the Enchanted Forest started back over 70 years ago, and it began at Goldsmith's Department Store, which was in downtown Memphis. And Goldsmiths had somebody who came back that wanted to kind of set up this Christmas exhibit to help spread Christmas cheer and kind of bring the Christmas spirit through to Memphis. A man by the name of George Hettinger was the one who was first involved, and he created some small Christmas vignettes that went throughout the department store. And over time, the visual team got involved, the seamstress got involved, and they created a bunch of different Christmas animals and animatronics and set designs and scenes that created this entire enchanted forest that was located on the ground floor of Goldsmiths. So Goldsmiths in 1990 unfortunately closed their doors, and when they did so, they donated this wonderful exhibit to the Twigs. Goldsmiths was really the place that everybody in Memphis went to for their holiday event. So people brought their children, grandchildren. It was definitely a mainstay in the holiday tradition. People came by and walked through the exhibit year after year after year. So when they donated the exhibit to Twigs, Twigs wanted to make sure that they really kept it going and kept the tradition alive. So Twigs was a volunteer organization that was put together in order to benefit Labana Children's Hospital. And so what they did was they decided to take the exhibit and merge it with their Christmas event that they had already been doing for years, which was called the Festival of Trees. And with the Festival of Trees, what they would do was have people come decorate trees, and they had a whole bunch of gingerbread houses and other things that were set up kind of in conjunction with it all. So when the two merged together, they created the Enchanted Forest Festival of Trees, which is what it is now known today. So when Goldsmiths closed, the Twigs took over. They moved the exhibit over to the Agri Center in 1990, where it remained until 2002. In 2002, they brought it over here to the Pink Palace Museum, and that is where it is still today. So nowadays we estimate about 40,000 people actually walk through the exhibit itself, and the Pink Palace during the holidays estimates about 100,000 visitors that come through and do all of their holiday activities. We do see a lot of grandparents with their grandchildren, and the grandparents remember it from when it was at Goldsmiths, and it's a great family tradition and one that a lot of families have. All the proceeds from the ticket sales go to Le Bonheur Hospital, and it really is a great way to fundraise for the hospital and to help us continue on our mission to provide wonderful care for all the children that come through our doors.
I've heard about this incredible penguin program.
Yes, so we have our Penguin Pal program, and what you'll find when you come to the Enchanted Forest is there's an entire scene set at the base of the escalator of penguins. And these penguins are just on display for the forest, but in actuality, they've all been donated for a $50 donation to Le Bonheur Children's Hospital. And as a token of our appreciation and to recognize the donation, a child also receives a penguin during the winter months at the hospital to help comfort them, and it's a nice cuddly toy for them to enjoy while they're in the hospital.
The Enchanted Forest starts when?
It starts on November 18th and runs through December 31st.
Sarah, thank you so much for giving me a little bit of Memphis history and sharing it with our viewers at home. Again, the Enchanted Forest is here at the Pink Palace, November the 18th. Please come by, support the hospital, bring the little ones so they can take a picture with Santa. They look forward to your support, and I'm sure this year's exhibit will be just as great as the ones in the past.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas to you too.
Cancer Survivors Park opened in 2007. The park is designed to help visitors find their way through focused walks, prayer, and contemplation. Artist Christy Duckworth used the image of a tree to symbolize the growth of new life in her tile mosaic entitled The Tree of Life. Many of the tiles were created by cancer survivors. Wildflowers are planted throughout the park to attract butterflies, and artist Yvonne Bobo created a series of butterfly statues which are stationed along the walkways. Cancer Survivors Park is located in Audubon Park near the Perkins entrance.
Hi, I'm Jim Strickland, Mayor of Memphis. Memphis is a giving city. Every year we rank number 1 or 2 in the country for charitable giving per person. Well, during this holiday season, I'm going to ask y'all to step up and do a little bit more. Give to your favorite charity. There are so many Memphians in need of help, and we have so many great nonprofits and churches and places of worship that are stepping up and doing it. So when you see somebody ringing the bell at your favorite grocery store for a Salvation Army, dig it a little deeper. Put money in the pot to help your fellow man. From me and all the employees at city government, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and be safe.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you learned something cool and unique about the 901 that you didn't know before.
And from all of us city employees who work for you, the 901,
Happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.
So did you get your co-host a gift?
You're on the naughty list.